Boom, boom, boom! Welcome to
What's
Blockchain
up? What's
Live. I'm
up?
here with Fat the Dilio, and
What's
we
up,
talking
man?
about them cryptos.
Yes, those cryptos and them hoes, which unfortunately right now
Yeah,
looks like
have
a
you
bear market.
been
The hoes ain't
have you
come.
been looking hearing about these cryptos, man? Because there's all kinds of stuff happening in them cryptos right now. If you look at the chart, we are kind of
What are those
crashing a
funky
little bit.
lines?
Those are that is known as an EMA ribbon.
Oh,
So
so you
it's
got
a
like all sorts of EMAs there,
yeah,
EMA
all
10,
the
20, 30, 40, 50.
yeah,
Okay, a
yeah, yeah,
ribbon,
yeah,
huh?
yeah. It's called an EMA ribbon. So let me. Okay, if it's distracting, I can turn it off. Hold on. Blah, 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 blah.
What's the use of having the ribbons? I mean, I usually just look at the 20 and
So
the 200.
yeah, no, you can. It's like a trading thing. So you can see that when it breaks above the ribbons, right? That
Uh-huh.
means that
Uh-huh.
it's already gone past all the major resistance line. That makes sense. So
Gotcha.
you can. I guess it's similar to like an Ichimoku cloud, if you know what that is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay, yeah. Those
yeah,
things are useful as shit.
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't say I'm an expert at reading them, but they seem to give you like a hey, that shape,
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
shape ain't
exactly.
good.
Exactly. So the thing, right? Everybody's really bearish right now. I think if we zoom out, we can see that there was a kind of a significant dump, right? This is the chart that I have. I'm
Hey,
gonna get.
doesn't this look like what happened last year or I mean during the dump time? What was it? 2019, 2019?
Oh, you mean but that was like at the end of the cycle. So this is like at the
Oh
beginning
yeah,
of the
okay,
cycle,
okay,
right?
fair enough.
Okay,
Okay, okay.
so a couple of things is that we basically broke this trend line. We came back, this trend line became resistance, and of course it's below the 200 EMA. And now it's gone to the bottom here, and we're at the at this bottom range here, right? Okay, so that's the daily weather report.
The
All right,
daily weather report.
the
What's the
daily
weekly
the
weather
weekly
report
weather
look like?
report. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we all know what's happened. We're at this bottom range here, and of course, I guess the danger that a lot of people are worried about is that this could actually like break down, come back up resistance, and then go down basically, right? And if we go down, what are the levels that we're looking at? A lot of people are talking about somewhere around 38. There's a level here, I believe, somewhere around here. Um,
38.
the other level that a lot of people are talking about is the previous support. You know what?
16?
I'm gonna switch this. Hold on.
Are you talking
This
about
is
16,000?
this is not a good chart. Let's change to this one. Yeah. Yeah. So this chart is with the Fibonacci retracements. So there's going to be one fib line at about 36500, and the previous one is here. So this level here at about 32,300 is what a lot of people are looking at, right?
That is a
Um,
very good discount.
yeah. So this is because this was the previous support and bottom. If you look here, if you put it around here, yep. That basically means that somewhere in this area here, somewhere between here to here, the market dumped, and then this was a support, and then when it went up, it was a resistance, and then it went up. This was resistance, and it just broke through and never came back and tested it for support again. So this is what a lot of people have this theory that this is where it's actually going to go back down and test that support, right? But while I do think that this is Bitcoin and anything can happen, I do believe that technical analysis is correct in normal market circumstances. And now with the
Mhm.
ETF, maybe there might be some other factors in play that might affect the price of Bitcoin. What about you? What do you have on your charts? That you
Let
said
me
that
show you what. Yes.
you did
The other day,
your tea leaf analysis on your side
my
as
tea
well.
leaf analysis looks something like this. Let me show you this.
Okay, all
So
right.
this is what's been going on. So these are lines that I've drawn for a while,
Okay,
and
you want to zoom in a
and
bit?
what?
Zoom in a bit.
Okay, okay. So what I noticed is that these things tend to happen in like chunks of
Okay.
bars. So
Okay.
I expected it to go up until here and then
Hmm.
only start going down.
Right.
But it looks like this is just one of those shorter bars, like one of these.
Right.
So at this point, you can see that inside here, it's already gone outside of my uh lines.
Right.
It's disrespecting my lines. And
Right.
from this guy called Gareth Soloway, I think he says, if the chart stops respecting your boundaries, it's time for you to check yourself before
Right.
you break yourself.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. But technically, it hasn't really broken through, right? It's like testing the line.
Well,
That's what
on
it
the
looks like.
hourly, it's already broken through.
Oh, hourly, it's already broken through. Okay. 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 Fair enough.
So it
So you
just broke
believe?
through, which means danger, boys.
So you believe that basically we're going down? It's going
No, no,
down.
no,
A
no.
logical
I
progression of
don't
a
say I believe
timeline.
we're going down. I
Okay.
would be a fool to say that I can tell the future. What I'm saying is, at this point, this is where the market is going to see what you're going to do. As
Okay.
in, when I say you, I mean all of us.
Right.
If we start like, oh, this is the low, and let's start buying it, that's when it's going to dump.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
if everybody right now is like, oh my god, and then when it goes up to like about here, and then you think like, I'm in the green a little bit,
Mhm.
it's gonna go down, so maybe I should lighten my bags, and you like sell 75% at like a 2% profit, and you think, I'm safe. That's when the thing will go like this, and then like this, and like that,
Right.
and then
Right.
and then you'll be like, oh shit, I missed
So
it.
basically, he bought, don't beat. Is what you're saying, right?
Yes. And
All right.
and you know what? I
Yeah.
really feel this is true. Try go on any one of these apps like this Binance or this
Right.
Mexi or whatever the hell you want. Choose whatever. Go to the, especially when you're playing the futures.
Right.
You go there and then you look at the price. Look at the price. And let's say it's at $1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Press open. It looks like it goes down a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put in a number and then you press buy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see the thing goes up, be above your price.
Right.
When you say you buy at market, right? It goes
Mhm.
up above your price, and suddenly it's like 5 or 10 points higher than what you wanted to buy at, and then you
Okay.
already got it. Too fucking late.
Okay. Okay. All right.
It really looks to me like that. Like you just click suddenly. Hey, why when I click this thing it changed, huh? Motherfucker.
So it's really he bought pump it. He bought
He
dump
bought
it.
pump it.
Yeah.
Oh, in
Exactly.
fact, it's worse than that. It's like he's about to press buy. Make it look low right now.
Right.
The minute he presses it, fuck him up.
Buying table flag.
Yes.
Print 1 million titer. Dump it with Korean FUD. Okay. Yeah. So the Bognatov twins, even though I don't think they're alive anymore, the
No, they're
Bognatov
not.
twins.
They're gone.
So
But I
okay.
believe
So
there's somebody.
well, I do think that there's definitely reason to be bearish, but I have something I want to share with you. Okay.
Okay.
Which
Before
maybe
that,
might
though,
change your.
a reason why we
Yes.
might want to consider that it is bearish is because the bull has technically been happening for close to a year. If you look at this, since somewhere
Right.
here,
Mhm.
this is where the
Right.
bull started. We just didn't realize at the time,
Right.
right? So now it's
So
been a
we
good
did
year.
have. Yeah, you did have a little bit of a retracement because there are retracements in the bull market. The question is that there was a retracement in the middle part there, right?
Yeah.
So then it comes down to this retracement. How deep is it going to be, right? So, but there's one thing that I want to show you.
Okay, let's have a look.
This tweet came out. This tweet came out today.
Jim, oh my God, the reverse signal.
Right. Nasty beginning to the bit.
Sell off. Someone's probably going to try to make a stand here, but as we said last night, you can't have an asset double in value by hundreds of billions of dollars in anticipation of an ETF, and then almost no one shows up.
And the first comment is thank you, Jim. So first of all, right, I don't know what Jim Cramer is talking about because why is he saying that nobody showed up?
Well,
right. So
okay.
I'm just gonna show some data here, okay? Where it basically says that we have no idea what he's talking about. Okay, let's see if I can find. I load up the tab, and then now when the show is running,
you can't find it. Is it because you're one of
yeah,
those
okay, there you
people
go.
with
Here you go.
1,000 tabs?
Here, there you go. Yes, correct. So this is the one. Bitcoin surpasses silver to become the second largest ETF commodity in the US. Can you imagine this? So that basically means that we've been running for about 6 days.
Mhm.
And within 6 days, okay, so the number one
Is
ETF commodity is gold, number two is silver. Within 6 days, Bitcoin became the second largest ETF commodity. What do you mean by nobody showed up? So I don't know what Jim is talking about, right? There's definitely a lot of fun that's going on right now, okay? Did you know that Satoshi Nakamoto might come back and delete all the Bitcoin? Did you hear about this?
What? Why would Satoshi Nakamoto do that?
Oh, because that's what Jamie Dimon says. Jamie Dimon says Satoshi could come back
Could come back.
and delete all Bitcoin, bro. Somebody can delete all the Bitcoin. Can you imagine that?
Actually,
Let's see what he has to
actually,
say, right?
Limited in
now that
supply,
he says,
so
Hold on.
and it's been used. So you think so, huh?
I do.
I think there's a good chance that when we get to
We're
that
gonna
20
go to
million
42
bitcoins,
million, they go to 42.
No, that Satoshi's going to come on there, laugh hysterically, go quiet, all Bitcoin's going to be erased.
I think, man.
How the hell do you know it's going to stop at
Not-
21?
not possible.
I've never met one person who told me they know for a fact they take that as
Mathematically, it's not. It
How's-
can't happen because
yeah.
It's like, sometimes I feel like, man, we are like so late to the game in crypto. When somebody thinks that anyone can come and delete all Bitcoin, I mean, that pretty much says that we're still very early lah. So yeah, but all of these banks, they say one thing and they do a separate thing. Did you want to say something before that?
no. I was just very disappointed that people are still saying these kind of things.
Yeah. So a couple of reasons why the price is not really doing so great, though, right? Okay, it's because Bitcoin miners actually dumped a bunch of Bitcoin. 10,000 Bitcoin in a single day, all right, was sold on the 17th of January, 2 days ago. It was registered the largest daily decline in miner reserves in over a year. Okay.
Wow.
So the miners felt that 48K was the resistance that's what they wanted to get to. So they sold 10,000 Bitcoin then. Now, one of my theories why this is because a lot of the miners are actually they're in China, they're in Asia, all over the place, but we still understand that there's quite a decent amount of Bitcoin miners in China, right? And Chinese New Year is coming up. So
Oh yeah, Year of the Dragon, man, it's gonna be big.
So the thing is that usually in January's, Bitcoin actually goes down. So Bitcoin prices don't really pump in January, and it could be a connection to Chinese New Year. So miners want to cash out.
Bitcoin wants you to be able to buy some ang pao so that when you give to your friend,
yes,
it goes up.
Exactly. So it shows here that Bitcoin miners in selling mode, they sold 10,600 Bitcoin valued at approximately 455 million, almost $500 million of Bitcoin sold. All right.
Wow.
The other issue is that we're aware of the ETFs, right? And the ETFs here, there's same thing also here, right? Okay, so Bitcoin miners sold this much. So the ETFs, all the other ETFs are accumulating Bitcoin with the exception of one, okay, which is GBTC, all right? And this is a tweet from Eric Balchunas where he's asking, when will the bleeding stop, okay? This is some serious daily outflows for the 9 to have to battle every single day. They've done a great job so far, but damn, it's a lot to ask. So
when he says
in
the
case
9, is it the 9 other ETFs?
the other 9 ETFs,
Okay.
yeah. So there's 10 of them, right? So the 9 ETFs are trying to fight the outflows of the one ETF that's constantly selling, right? And it's got to do with the fact that the price of Bitcoin on this ETF, before at first you could not claim the Bitcoin until they converted themselves to a spot Bitcoin. It was like a futures, right? And they would buy these Bitcoin, but you couldn't claim the Bitcoin. You could only buy their shares, and their shares were selling at a discount for a long time, right? So when people bought Bitcoin, I've heard as much as 50% off.
Wow.
So after they bought Bitcoin that cheap, the moment the ETF opened, everybody wants to sell their Bitcoin and get profit, right? a lot of them are also switching over to the other ETFs. So there's some outflow to the other ETFs. There's a lot of people who are selling to take profit. So there is huge selling pressure from GBTC. The plus point is that they're going to run out of Bitcoin to sell eventually, and the other ETFs look like they're still accumulating, right? Of course, nobody knows what's going to happen moving forward, but it seems like the other ETFs inflows should be about the same, and this GBTC should taper off at some point. But then again, both might taper off. It's of course possible. However, that is not the consensus that a lot of people have. So if you look at the chart here, right? After 5 days, so we traded on Thursday, Friday, Monday was a holiday, okay? And then we traded on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and also today, right? Today is the last day. So if you look at the charts that people are trading, right? You can see that for most of the time, if you can make sense of these charts, I'll try to make sense for you, right? So this is the IBIT, these are all the ETFs, right? And Grayscale, you can see here that they sold 95 Bitcoin on day 1, 484 Bitcoin on day 2, 594 Bitcoin on day 3, 460 Bitcoin on day 4, 582 Bitcoin. They sold about 2,216 Bitcoin in these 5 days,
How many
right?
Bitcoin does
Now,
this have?
they're the largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. So, but the other exchanges have also been buying, right? So the first day, even though they had a negative, overall, there was more Bitcoin that was bought, 625 Bitcoin in positive on the first day. Second day, also 209 Bitcoin positive because all the other ones had inflows, right? Third day, all right, a little less, negative 53. Fourth day, 467 Bitcoin. So there's more Bitcoin that's bought. But fifth day, negative 134. And this is the problem, right? Is that the selling pressure from GBTC was exceptionally high, which is probably one of the reasons why there's this dump that's happening. So yeah, so that's basically how you make sense of this chart. Feels like months. He says in the book's total rolling net flows is about $1.2 billion added. But after GBTC's Whopper minus 852 million, edged out the Nine's 457, GBTC's Bloodbath is up to negative 2.2 billion versus the Nine's 3.3 billion inflows. So there's a lot of volume on the ETF, definitely. But you can see that this GBTC is basically causing a lot of problems here. So yeah, these are basically the holders of Bitcoin. Hold on, let's close this. And you can see here that if you look, let's see if they have this. It's not here. So GBTC is basically the biggest holder of Bitcoin. They've got about 600,000 Bitcoin. But two things, right? One is some of this Bitcoin is going to the other ETFs. The second thing is that eventually you don't have to actually sell out 600,000 Bitcoin. At some point, their selling out is going to slow down because they're also an ETF that needs to hold Bitcoin. They're not going to go to zero, right? So they probably still need to hold, I'm guessing, a couple of 100,000 Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So the selling pressure will eventually subside. I just don't know when. So yeah, nobody really knows when. In the meantime and in between times, we're looking at the charts here, and we can see that BTC dominance is also dropping, which basically what this shows for me, right, is that the ETFs are affecting the price of Bitcoin more than altcoins, right? So if you're holding a lot of Bitcoin, probably you can see there's a lot of damage that's coming your way. But if you're holding altcoins, yes, there is bleeding. You can see here. But because of the Bitcoin dominance, it's bleeding less than Bitcoin, right? So altcoins here are also dumping, but bleeding less than Bitcoin. So are we bullish? There are still charts that are showing that, yeah, you know what? Looking at altcoins at least, altcoins are somewhere around this level here, which means that we could actually be going sideways a little bit, maybe dump a little bit and then go up, according to this, if you believe the fractal pattern here, right?
Right.
So I guess the question here is, if we're not pumping, are we dumping? And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I suspect we're probably going to be in a range. Ethereum, Bitcoin is also doing well. So you can see here that the altcoins are doing better compared to Bitcoin. Right. Also, according to this guy, absolutely everybody expects BTC to bottom in the 30s in 2024, excepting a few panicky people calling for 20s and some nutsacks calling for 10s, which is, I think it's close to unreasonable. Unless a quantum computer hacks Bitcoin, I don't see this happening. It would thus be very fitting if BTC never trades below 40K again, right? So based on a lot of information that we've gotten from the charts, my theory is, this is my theory, right? If we don't dump, previously in the last podcast, I said, if we're going to dump, we need to do it in the next 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
So we've got until the end of next week. If we don't dump by the end of next week, I think what's going to happen is that we're probably going to bounce around in this range. So there's going to be like the top range here. I think what's going to happen is that we're probably going to go before finally, boom, come out, right? So how many times this bounce happens, I don't know. Nobody knows. But likely we're just going to be range bound for a little while and then shoot up. So this is, as you know, this when you range sideways, it doesn't mean it's not doing anything. It means that there's accumulation and distribution happening at that side, right?
Yeah. And if you time your stuff right, you could just make a little bit of extra bucks riding it up and down.
Yeah, exactly. It's what people call schlonging, right?
Oh,
you short and you long at the same time.
right.
Yeah. So I think at the moment, while things are looking bearish, until it breaks 40K, I am assuming things are going sideways. And I think it's got to do it sooner rather than later, because eventually the sell pressure is going to subside. Miners are not going to dump anymore. Miners have already dumped. So you think about it, right? Miners have dumped 10,000 BTC onto the market, and we didn't even drop 10,000.
Right.
We were like almost 50K, and we dropped all the way down to like about 41-ish, right? For 40,800. So they dumped 10,000 BTC onto the market. There's not going to be another dump like that anytime soon. I don't think so. Then you've got this GBTC sell pressure, right? So with this GBTC sell pressure, while today was very high, previous days have compensated for this sell pressure, right? So we're still coming out net positive. So with all of the sell pressure, BTC hasn't really completely collapsed. I think there is probably a lot of buying that's going on in the background. There was a whale that actually bought about $1 billion. What's a million? A million is chump change, right? Chump change. But there was a whale that actually bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin here. Yeah.
At what point?
Hold on.
Do we know?
So they call him Mr. 100, bought the dip with 3 times of 100 Bitcoin, okay? So he bought 100 Bitcoin 3 times on the 18th, which was yesterday. So they call him Mr. 100. So yeah, 100 Bitcoin is about 1.7 see here, 40,000. How much is a bit? 40,000, and how much would that be? That would be $4 million each. Yeah, it should be right. Should be right. Is my math off? For 4 million each. So yeah. So he basically bought. He keeps buying 100 Bitcoin all the time. So he's DCAing all the way. But there was also another whale that bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. They were actually tracking his wallet. I think it might be on let's see, Whale Watchers maybe. So what I'm trying to say is that besides the ETF, there is also other buyers who are non-ETF buyers buying Bitcoin spot in the traditional way. This is whale. What is the word? Whale alert. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. How come I'm not following him? That's so strange. Okay. So let's see here. See if I can find that. But yeah, while we're looking for that, I just want to say that there is a lot of buying on Bitcoin that's going on right now. There's selling from two entities, which was the miners and GBTC. This is where the selling pressure is coming from. But buying is coming from all over the place. So I think overall, what the market is doing is that it's absorbing the sell pressure. And as long as it doesn't completely dump, everybody is still relatively quite bullish moving forward
Safe,
because of this
right.
ETF. Yeah.
Well, in the overall, obviously, I think it's on an uptrend. Even on the
Yeah.
weekly, you can see it's the 200 is still going up. The 20 is also going up. It doesn't look like it's going down that much anytime soon. So I don't know.
Yeah. One more interesting thing to share with you is that if you look at the heat map for liquidation cascades, right?
What the fuck?
So, okay. So, you know how people use this thing called leverage and you can get
Yeah.
liquidated, yeah, and get
Sure.
margin calls and all that. Yeah, I think we're probably familiar with that. But what happens is that you people have been shorting Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin goes up to 45,000, it will liquidate about 800 million in Bitcoin. So there is a short squeeze to the upside, right?
You can bet your bottom dollar the bots are going to be looking for that, like sharks in
Yeah, because there's
water filled with
liquidity.
blood.
There's liquidity available, right? You trigger a short squeeze, and then your position automatically goes all the way up, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if the short squeeze gets triggered, and we're going to go all the way up and come back down, all the way up, and like range bound, right?
Right.
So grab all this liquidity in the market.
Oh my
So I think
goodness.
that's definitely a possibility. But yeah, I would say right now people are overly bearish. That's my opinion. Of course, we could go down, but our opinions need to be based on data, right? And until we actually break 40K, people tend to treat sideways as bearish, whereas sideways is neutral.
No,
You
I
know,
think
moving
yeah.
sideways is neutral. So right now we're in neutral. We're not bearish. We're not bullish. We gotta wait and see what the market is going to give us.
Yeah.
And just wanted to point out this tweet here also, which I thought was quite funny, which is that 40K last month. This is your Leonardo DiCaprio. 40K this month. This is what you look like, right? So it's just a month apart. In fact, right now we're better because the ETF has already been approved. There was a danger that the ETF might not be approved, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, we're actually better than we were last month at 40K. I mean, like from a fundamental
People
point of
have
view.
short-term memory.
Yeah. So we're better. Don't panic too much. I'm not saying don't panic at all, but this negativity is a little too extreme, I feel. Right?
Yeah, but if you
So,
zoom
yeah.
all the way out, man, we're really close to the top. If you think about it.
Yeah, no, I think that we can absolutely go to the top and retrace. But the key here is that we're not at the top yet. I mean, the top is, you're talking about all-time high. Is
Yeah.
that what you mean, right?
Yep.
The all-time high is about like 19K away. It's not that far, right? It is
Yeah.
about like 20 to 30%. So absolutely, we could hit that level and then retrace down to 40.
Like,
But
that's just like 3 elephant bars.
yeah. No, that's absolutely what could happen. And in fact, I think if we're going to have a retrace, it's probably going to be at that level, right? Like a deep retrace. It's probably going to be at that 69, 70K level. This here, I'm kind of neutral. Like, like I said, I think if there's going to be a dump, it's going to happen in the next week, and then after that, when we get over Chinese New Year, especially, I foresee the buying pressure pick up. So yeah, I think that likely people are overly bearish, and the Jim Cramer indicator, man, the Jim Cramer
Oh, yeah.
indicator is just
That is a gold one.
that is just too accurate. Yeah, there's one more thing that I wanted to show, but I can't remember what it is now. Well, I guess that's it.
Okay.
Don't be overly bearish, and
Yeah.
I think that they the signs right now. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at the data, right? It's like three things bullish, one thing bearish, right? But we're moving sideways. So we got the minus selling, we've got the GBTC problem, but overall we're still sideways. So just chill, right? And especially if you're sitting in altcoins, don't panic too much. Maybe watch the market here and there, but I think overall it's not so bad. I also want to give away a trade today that I'm looking at. Of course,
What is that?
This is not financial advice. Yada yada
Is it
yada.
Filecoin?
Yes, it's Filecoin.
I am in Filecoin.
You're in Filecoin, okay?
It
So
is looking good.
So Filecoin had a bit of a dump.
Yep.
It dumped
I
with
loaded up.
Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin here, right? So this is what I am looking at.
Wait. You're not sharing the right screen.
Oh, I'm not showing you the right screen. Okay, sorry. My bad. Not the right screen. Okay, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this EMA ribbon because it might be a bit difficult for you guys to see. But Filecoin, I feel like the setup is pretty decent because this was the previous support here, okay, before it crashed down. And then, so how I look at it is, this is the resistance here at about 1650 to like 17. Let's say we drag this all the way down here. This is about
Was that
16.5.
$16?
$16, yeah. So 16.5, right? So if Filecoin, so you can see Filecoin is already showing that it's moving out of this. The EMAs have already crossed, right?
Yeah.
And if there is a break of this trend line, which is somewhere here, yeah. So the trend line is something like this. It already broke once, right? But what tends to happen is if a commodity crypto tends to crash like this, where it just like waterfall down, there's no support or resistance in between. This is all like empty space. So when it does go up, it could go all the way back up to like 16, right? So it sort of gave a fake out here. So if you know how the market is, right, tends to take your money, waited for you to break out, and then it faked you out and brought you down here. Now, I think that this could absolutely come lower before it breaks up, right? So I don't know how much lower it can go, but there's something that you want to look at, right? Whenever it breaks this trend line, whatever this trend line here, when it breaks it, that's when you need to think about going up because the trend line is getting lower and lower. You could potentially enter at about $6-ish and then exit at about 16. So that's like a 2.5x. If there's alt season that comes our way, I think Filecoin is a very decent setup.
Hey, but if you look at the last two, right? Couldn't it go all the way down to like $3.20, maybe even a bit less than that, 280? Holy shit!
Crypto can do whatever it wants, right? But I would think the bottom is this 200 EMA. Previously, it gave the support here. So the next support should be at about $4.80 if it comes down, right? So if it comes down here, I would wait until it breaks this trend line before I enter, right? Of course, some have already entered here because it broke this trend line. Understandable, right? But if you're in leverage, then probably you might want to think about it. But if you're in spot, even if you entered here 6.6, I think that's a decent entry. Yeah, it's a decent entry. So it's already, the EMAs have already crossed. There's this big gap here, 2.5x to the top. I feel like it's a good trade. It's a good trade setup. So
do I have any in spot? Let me see.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah. So Yeah, so this is the trend line that I would wait for the trend line to break.
Okay.
So yeah, this trend line here. So this is the target, which should be at about 16.5. So yeah, but I mean, I actually think Filecoin could potentially go much higher. You know, like the end target that I would look at is probably somewhere around here, which is somewhere around $40. That's like my
Mother
end target.
gasket.
Yeah.
Mother
So-
gasket. That is crazy.
Yeah. So, but of course, you're talking about short term, long term, right? So it's going to go sideways, sideways. So you're talking about like maybe 1 year plus $40. Yeah, I could definitely see it getting that high. I mean, at its peak, it was at $230, right? I don't think it's going to get back up to whatever it was worth in the past, but a fifth of it, yeah, I think it could. This was the support previously. So yeah, I could absolutely see it getting to $40, which is like about 7-8x from here.
Right.
So I think Filecoin is a decent buy if you're getting in on spot. But it's just if you're in leverage, there's still some danger there before it finally decides that it wants to break out or whatever, right? So just be careful. Just be careful. Don't use leverage if you can. Not financial advice. I'm a stranger on the internet. Don't listen to me. All right. Okay. Well, I guess that's it. Anything else you want to add on?
No, I think I'm gonna go and check out some Filecoin.
All right, Ben. Take care.
Okay.
Ciao. Until next
All right.
week. Bye.
Until next week.